film record of an historic occasion. Historic for Buddhism, for Thailand, where this film was made, and for England, as it depicts the founding of the first English Sangha, or group of Buddhist monks, ever to be ordained in Thailand, and ever to exist. This group, who to return to the West, to England, to create and develop the first Sangha in the West. This film was made at Wat Pak Nam by Sicharyan Thonburi in Thailand, a very famous monastery for teaching. And this scene depicts the pre-night celebrations. The central figure here, a famous teaching bhikkhu in Thailand, Chawkun Mangalavacha Muni, abbot of Wat Pak Nam by Sicharyan. He is the presiding and chief bhikkhu of this monastery, and these scenes are taken the night previous at what is known as Naka ceremony, pre-night. On the left here, a very famous bhikkhu, Tita Wedho bhikkhu. Next to him, Kapila Wadho bhikkhu, the English monk, who brought with him his juniors or novices, Samanera. The one on his right, you see there, is Robert Albertson from Rochdale near Manchester, the cotton industry centre in England. Next, on the left here, George Blake from Jamaica, who's also come, and on his right, Peter Morgan, originally from Wales. All these have come. They're intensely interested in what's going on. It's completely new to them, a completely new life to them. This scene is important and interesting in the fact that it proves and shows that this actual ceremony goes back way beyond Buddhism itself. It's a facet from Indian life of many thousands of years back, where the story of the world, the round of rebirth, samsara as we call it, is told in traditional fashion. Here these gorgeously decorated tables in gold and lacquer are strewn with gifts from all kinds of people, gifts of robes and fans to the new bhikkhus to be, and to all the group of bhikkhus who take part in the ordination. At the back you see the title fans, those decorated fans. They are for bhikkhus. Every bhikkhu in Thailand has one as his authority. As the scene moves, you see the group there sitting quite happily, smoking cigarettes, everybody around quite happy, everybody very friendly. At the back there, you see two Chinese bhikkhus talking now to show you how close we are here in this country with the Dhamma. And here the leader of the celebration and the ceremony brings his candle 3 times towards him, and then wafts the feeling and blessing in his heart toward the new group, sending forth metta, shall we say, or loving kindness. Then the candles go all around this vast crowd, everybody sending their thoughts and blessing. All the people here you see are well-known friends of Buddhism, Kapila Wadho, Tita Wedho. They both know them very well. Many supporters. Everybody's a friend here. The juniors, of course, now are extremely interested. They're seeing things they've never seen before in their lives, much the same as these Thai people are seeing something they also have never seen. A group entirely composed of Europeans forming the first Sangha. These shaven-headed white figures you see in the middle of the picture here are what we call here upasika. In England we call them nuns. They are women who've given up life entirely to strive for enlightenment. Now the celebration, of course, on the next day takes place with traditional procession, and normally moves on the next day takes place with traditional procession, and normally moves off with quite a large gathering. There were thousands of people present on that day, and it moves off from the new Bhikkhu Academy at Wat Pak Nam, led by a rather fearsome creature called a Naka, or fire-spitting serpent. Here you see it, followed by a band which everybody thoroughly enjoys, particularly the drummer, and another small band, then followed up by male lay supporters carrying the title fans, the ceremonial umbrellas, covering the various gifts as the procession moves off. Here you see a large number of upasika, each carrying some small gift. Here's that wonderful creature again, the Naka. Everybody loves him very much. Sometimes he's rather frightening because he shoots real flame out of his mouth. And these fun-making people, everybody enjoys themselves very much. The wonderful part of these Thai people is that they have a great sense of fun. They love a party. So everybody joins in on this. They all feel it's their show as well, and they all show their joy and their well-wishings in their own manner and fashion. Now you see the juniors coming up, the novices on their way, each intensely concentrated, each trying to keep his mind on the task which is undertaken as the procession moves in towards pagoda ground. This procession will have to move round the pagoda. You see it here paused. It will move into pagoda ground and move 3 times round the pagoda to the right, keeping the right shoulder toward it, before the novices are allowed to enter the pagoda. Now we move into the pagoda proper, where the new juniors will pay salutations prior to the celebration. This wonderful figure here is just been discovered in Thailand. It's 60% gold, and is a very fine move-in to this most sacred moment in a bhikkhu's heart, where he takes the life which the Lord Buddha taught, the way to enlightenment. Now here you see them inside the pagoda, paying their respects to the memory of the Lord Buddha, and to the Upachaya Chalkun Mangalaraja Muni, Abbot of Wat Pak Nam. They will then move forward with their robes to be presented to them as bhikkhus. Here you see the bhikkhu who is touching the novice is very famous here, the Abbot of Wat Pak. His name is Chalkun Dhammantiloka, a bhikkhu of 40 wasa, 40 years standing. He is acting the part of first assistant Upachaya today. And his opposite number, now with his head turned to the left, is only a bhikkhu of 2 years standing, Kapilavatthu bhikkhu, the English monk, who on this occasion has been granted the right to be Anusasanacharya, the second assistant. A thing unprecedented in history. It gives you some idea of the way things work in a Buddhist community of monks. It's not only a question of years of standing, but of knowledge and practice, which is always recognized. And this is the first time that a European has ever passed the test for this office and been allowed to function in this capacity. Now you see Kapilavatthu has just told the Samanera to move off, and Blake the Jamaican comes up to present his gifts and to pay the traditional salutation, head to the ground 3 times, the 5-point touching, a salutation famous now over 2,500 years ago. Each junior salutes his senior bhikkhu, his upachaya, his abbot in this fashion, and his teacher. Now the Samanera is told to move off, and here we find the first assistant, Dhammantiloka Mahatera, just turned his head. He's going to give the Sikkhapadan or precepts, which always commence with Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Praise to the All-Enlightened One, to Siddhartha Gautama, who brought this teaching, this way of life to the world. And then the young novice repeats all this in Pali, which has meant much hard work on their part, and he repeats the precepts which commence Panati Pata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. I undertake the rule of training to refrain from killing or harming any living creature. He now moves forward with his begging bowl, the bowl in which he will beg his food for the rest of his time as a bhikkhu. Now we see the 2 assistants, Dhammantiloka and Kapilavatthu, taking their positions, when they will place the motion before the Sangha, chanting in Pali the motion, and then they move out to the 3 novices and commence to question them. This is a very long chant in Pali, all of which is known by the first and second assistant by heart and from memory. A chant which has to cover questioning these, testing them. Each one individually is asked a number of questions dealing with his health, his sanity, his life, his purity. You will notice that they are all very concentrated, the mind very calm now, very intent on the task at hand. Any mistake is corrected immediately by the first or second assistant. These 2 are very responsible for the whole ceremony. If anything goes wrong on anyone's part, these 2 must know and correct it, either it be pronunciation or wording. They must know everybody's part, both the novices, the upachaya's duty, everybody's duty. These 2 must know and correct. It's a very responsible position on a day like this. Any mistake would mean the nullification of the ceremony and would have to be commenced again. Now you see the questioning goes on, and the 2 assistants return now, and word perfect, they recite together the findings they have about these juniors. Word for word, statement by statement. Now the Samaneras move forward to outside the Sangha. They have been called, and before entering they have to ask to become bhikkhus. They commence by the words Sanghang Bhante Upasampadang Yachama Olong Patuno Bhante Sangho Anukampang Upadaya. Please, Venerable Sirs, may we enter? Will you accept us? They chant this 3 times, then salute right, left and center before moving forward, and they will be again questioned by the first and second assistant, Dhammatiloka Mahatera and Kapilawadu. Here the Upachaya is giving them instruction on the bhikkhu life, telling them in Pali, a very ancient language, that from here on they beg their food, they wear only 3 robes, they must be satisfied with the foot of a tree for bed if necessary, and to live on the merest of medicines, to possess nothing for the rest of their time as bhikkhu. Now the first and second assistant are again questioning them. You see the lips moving here, the questioning is going on. And after this, there will become the acceptance. After the Upachaya, now holding his fan of office, his title, is again instructing them in a long chant in Pali, which we call Anusana, expressing everything to them, trying to give them some idea of the task which they've undertaken. All the bhikkhus here present in this sangha or group who are ordaining them are what we call Vipassana bhikkhus, meditation bhikkhus. That is, bhikkhus who have undertaken this bhikkhu life to strive all the time for the enlightenment which the Lord Buddha gained. Here you see the juniors moving off now are bhikkhus, and they will bring now presents, small gifts. Salute the Upachaya Chankul Bhavanako Sul Mahatera, who is now Chankul Mangalaraja Muni, his latest title. Now, something unprecedented here. The new junior bhikkhu has been instructed by the Upachaya to salute Kapilawadu Bhikkhu, an English monk of only 2 years standing, to salute him, as were all the rest, as their teacher. A very happy moment this for the new Sangha, a very happy moment for Thailand. Everyone is very, very happy about this. Here you see the new junior bhikkhus now receiving gifts, and you notice that on the ground they have golden cloth, the purpose of which is to prevent them inadvertently touching any woman's hand. The Sangha here in Thailand, Mahasangha, the controlling group, are extremely strict, which is one of the reasons that the Dhamma is so strong in Thailand. The bhikkhu's vinaya, or code of discipline, is extremely strict. Here you see the juniors concentrated as the chant is given forth, taking them into Sangha, all the bhikkhus surround them, and this very impressive and sacred moment to the heart of a Buddhist is carried out with naturally some feeling of relief on the part of the new juniors. They've been under terrific strain. And now the traditional scene, Englishmen, bhikkhus, barefoot, begging their food in Thailand on the daily round. Here you see them moving forward in order of seniority, begging their food as they go, each with bare foot. Each one here has to be completely concentrated in mind, practicing what we know as Satipadhana, or mindfulness, a form of meditation. They do not notice who is giving the food. They keep their minds on the food. They keep their mind on the reason for begging the food is not for enjoyment or sensual pleasure, not to make the body strong or fat, but just so that this life, this bhikkhu life, may be led to strive for enlightenment. Every movement, every feeling, every act has to be registered by them. It is their discipline that their concentration must not break. Now they move across past the pagoda on their way back to their actual vihara, and here again we find some more people wishing to give them food. As they move nearer their place of residence, they come again on the way to another donor, another giver of food. Every morning you see this street scene, hundreds and hundreds of bhikkhus. Here you see them moving into the hall we call Dhammasala, a place of exposition of the philosophy of Buddhism, and also where the communal eating takes place. Here you will see that the English Sangha have been treated with some lenience on this occasion, owing to the fact they find the system of sitting Oriental style for long periods very painful. But they're getting used to it gradually. Here Mangalaraja Muni Mahatera moves out, followed by bhikkhus and samanera, that's novices, and you'll notice they all wear the same dress. There's no difference. Each are leading the bhikkhu life. They all wear the same clothes. They have no badge of office. Everyone is just a bhikkhu. Now this is a traditional scene here. The bhikkhus early morning at about 10 to 7 at this time of the year move into the pagoda every morning here at the early hour, They go here to pay their respects again to the memory of the Buddha, to chant suttas in Pali, which are instructions of the Buddha, and to listen to the instructions of the Upachaya, their chief abbot.